On January 8, 1947, in Brixton, London, David Robert Jones was born. A boy who would grow up to redefine music, fashion, and cultural expression for generations to come. Known to the world as David Bowie, his life was a continuous story of reinvention, artistic experimentation, and fearless exploration of identity. From glam rock to electronic music, from theatrical stage personas to cinematic ventures, Bowie's career became a roadmap for artists seeking to push the boundaries of creativity. Bowie's story is not just one of fame. It is a chronicle of innovation, courage, and influence. He reshaped the landscape of popular music while challenging societal norms regarding gender, sexuality, and culture. This is the story of David Bowie, the man who continually reinvented himself, leaving a lasting mark on music and humanity alike. Beginnings and the Rise of a Star, 1947 to 1972. David Robert Jones grew up in a working-class family in Brixton, South London. He attended Bromley Technical High School, where his interest in music and art flourished. By the early 1960s, Bowie began performing in local bands, such as the Conrads and the King Bees, experimenting with rhythm and blues, while learning the craft of performance. In 1966, he adopted the stage name David Bowie to distinguish himself from Davy Jones of the Monkees. His early singles achieved modest success, but it was Space Oddity, released on July 11, 1969, that propelled him into the public eye. The song, coinciding with the Apollo 11 moon landing, captured the imagination of a generation fascinated by space exploration and the possibilities of the unknown. During this period, Bowie displayed a relentless pursuit of innovation. He studied mime under Lindsay Kemp, which influenced his future stage movements and theatricality. His persona evolved beyond mere performance. Bowie began to craft characters and narratives that blurred the lines between reality and art, laying the foundation for his transformative impact on pop culture. The early 1970s saw Bowie experimenting with folk, soul, and experimental rock. Albums such as Hunky Dory, 1971, featured hits like Changes and Life on Mars, which highlighted his lyrical depth, melodic innovation, and the fusion of theatricality with popular music. Bowie was no longer a rising star. He was becoming a visionary artist, capable of transforming both sound and image. Ziggy Stardust, Glam Rock, and Global Stardom, 1972 to 1976. In 1972, Bowie introduced the world to Ziggy Stardust, an androgynous, alien rock star whose flamboyance, charisma, and narrative-driven performances would change the music industry forever. The album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars became an international sensation, with songs like Starman and Suffragette City defining glam rock and inspiring fans worldwide. Bowie's artistry was multidimensional. He combined music, fashion, and theater into a cohesive spectacle. On stage, Ziggy Stardust was both a narrative and an icon, challenging conventional notions of identity, gender, and celebrity. His performances at venues, such as the Hammersmith Odeon, along with appearances on shows like Top of the Pops, solidified his reputation as an innovator. Beyond Ziggy Stardust, Bowie explored soul and R&B with his Young Americans Phase, 1975, producing the hit Fame, co-written with John Lennon. This period demonstrated Bowie's versatility and his ability to adapt to changing musical landscapes. In 1976, following intense touring and personal pressures, Bowie retired Ziggy Stardust in a dramatic farewell concert at the Hammersmith Odeon. This decision reflected his commitment to artistic evolution and his refusal to be confined by a single persona, setting a precedent for reinvention that would define his career. Reinvention and the Berlin Trilogy, 1976 to 1983. The late 1970s marked a period of intense experimentation for Bowie. Moving to the United States, he struggled with addiction, but also explored soul, funk, and electronic influences. In 1977, Bowie relocated to Berlin, Germany, seeking both artistic renewal and personal stability. The Berlin period produced what is now known as the Berlin Trilogy, Low, 1977, Heroes, 1977, and Lodger, 1979. Collaborating with producer Tony Visconti and musician Brian Eno, Bowie incorporated avant-garde techniques, ambient soundscapes, and electronic innovation. Tracks like Sound and Vision and Heroes showcased his ability to merge experimental music with mainstream appeal. Bowie's influence during this era extended beyond music. Marked by sharp suits, asymmetrical haircuts, and calculated minimalism, impacted fashion and visual culture, signaling that music and image were inseparable in defining cultural influence. By the early 1980s, Bowie returned to more commercial sounds with Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, 1980, and achieved global pop stardom with Let's Dance, 1983. The title track became a #1 hit, introducing Bowie to a new generation while retaining his artistic integrity. This period cemented Bowie's reputation as a master of reinvention, capable of navigating both experimental and commercial terrains. Later years, Legacy, and The Final Goodbye, 1984 to 2016. From the mid-1980s onward, Bowie continued to innovate while engaging in acting, producing, and entrepreneurial ventures. Films like Labyrinth, 1986, and The Man Who Fell to Earth, 1976, showcased his dramatic range, while collaborations with artists such as Queen, Mick Jagger, and Trent Reznor reflected his influence across genres. In the 1990s and 2000s, Bowie embraced electronic, industrial, and jazz influences, with albums such as Earthling, 1997, and The Next Day, 2013, blending contemporary sounds with his signature style. His tours, including the Glass Spider Tour, 1987, and a Reality Tour, 2003 to 2004, demonstrated his continued commitment to theatricality, precision, and audience engagement. On January 8, 2016, David Bowie passed away peacefully, just 2 days after releasing Blackstar, an album widely regarded as his artistic farewell. The record, with its haunting imagery and complex jazz-influenced compositions, reflected Bowie's enduring commitment to experimentation and profound thematic depth. Bowie's influence permeates music, fashion, film, and visual culture. He challenged conventional ideas of identity, encouraged self-expression, and demonstrated that art could be both personal and universal. His continual reinvention serves as a blueprint for artists and a reminder that creativity knows no boundaries. What lessons can we draw from his fearless experimentation and commitment to authenticity? Share your thoughts in the comments. David Bowie remains more than a musician. He is a symbol of creativity, courage, and transformation. From Brixton to the global stage, his life illustrates the power of art to challenge, inspire, and endure, leaving a legacy that continues to resonate across generations. Watch more interesting stories. Subscribe to our channel.